Dozens of Nigerian workers from the public and organised private sector today besieged the premises of the Public Complaints Commission in Abuja to demand government's intervention in their allegations of mistreatment by their employers. While some of the workers allege neglect by the employers after sustaining serious injuries in the course of performing their duties. Meanwhile, commissioners in the agency promised to look into the complaints by the aggrieved workers.
Aggrieved workers in their large numbers waiting for the officials of the Public Complaint Commission to lay their complaints. Once the commissioners were seated, the leader of the workers stated their mission.
Construction company workers will carry iron and different injuries when are they here. People where they not pay their pension when are they here. People when be say they get different injustices when are they here. We carry our cry come here because we get confidence say God Almighty go use Public Complaints Commission to wipe our tears away from us.
Addressing the workers, Mr. Dahiru Bobo, who represented the Chief Commissioner, assures them of speedy intervention.
We are going to have open discussions with you, all of you. Everybody should feel free to raise your complaint or at least mention and so that we can listen. Some of our colleagues who are here and our directors will also explain a bit some of your complaints. But since this is a very serious business, we would not like you to leave this place without formally registering your complaints here. That's the reason why we arrange all our investigators said they are all arranged here.
The workers, including some who allegedly lost their limbs while working, say they suffered neglect from their employers.
When this happened to me, I call my admin officer. That is what happened to me. Admin went to tell him. He said they don't have a hand on my treatment. So since then, no salary, I don't see anything. I went to EcoBank. They gave me printed of a statement of account. So they paid that November, December, and January 2014. Apart from there, I saw it in the paper. Apart from there, I don't see anything again.
Oh, I lose my hand for Croatia. From there now, they sack me. They don't pay me anything.
Although these workers want their complaints addressed, the Commission says some will be referred to other agencies.
The Commission also has its limitations. So that is why we'll look into them. The ones that we can resolve, we'll resolve them. If we need to refer them if we need to refer some to other agencies, we will surely do and follow up with them and ensure that they get results.
According to the Public Complaint Commission, this is the first time it is receiving such huge numbers of complainers from aggrieved citizens all in one day.
Achieving human dignity and wealth creation is key to reduction of poverty in Nigeria. Business and social leaders at the 13th annual lecture of the Center of Value in Leadership affirmed this position in Lagos. At the event, the Vice President Yemi Osinbajo also explained the implication of the federal government's human dignity strategies.
Religious, business leaders and important personalities have come together at the 13th Annual Lecture Symposium of the Center for Values in Leadership to exchange ideas on the theme Wealth, Poverty and Human Dignity. And one after the other, the host, Professor Patu Tomi, and the symposium chairman, Dr. Folusha Phillips, whose birthdays coincide with the lecture dates, bear their mind on why Nigeria must optimize its resources for wealth creation across all strata.
And in fact, we were created to be co-creators with God, moving creation towards it. In fact, through venturing, we do get to go and travel that route. Much debated subject of our country is whether politics is underdeveloped in Nigeria. Our politicians bringing progress to our country, or are they taking our country back? How much does our politics reflect the need to elevate the dignity of the human person?
Yes, we are rich in mineral resources, our gold, amethyst, precious stones that I can't even pronounce. And of course our oil and gas for all it's worth. We are rich in agricultural capacity, we are rich in human capacity, but we're not wealthy. Creating wealth in Nigeria's context is learning to add value. It's getting cocoa from the ground and turning it into chocolates. It's getting cotton and turning it into fabrics.
The keynote speaker, Vice President Yemi Osinbajo, who believes that human dignity is a right, says the Buhari administration is committed to social protection through the strategic conditional cash transfer scheme.
Well, the whole idea is that money will be made available. Beginning the first phase, we are dealing with at least 1 million Nigerians who are considered extremely poor. And of course, the vulnerable also, the disabled, will be in that number. The disabled poor will be in that number. This is one of the best pro-market social protection programs. In other words, because you have people who have nothing at all are given some money, they are able to inject money back into the economy. They're able to buy things from the markets. They're able to provide for themselves, and in some cases even save a little.
The forum features series of speeches from other social and religious leaders. 5 tertiary institution essayists also competed for rewards of between 50,000 naira and 750,000 naira. After all is said and done, the host, Professor Otomi, says he is confident of poverty eradication in the country.
Learn for all. Then their individual talents will carry them to produce their ways out of poverty. And this is really what our challenge is as a country. We must create equal opportunity for everybody. And the best way to do that is through education.
Nigeria, Africa's largest resource-based nation, is currently challenged with low prices of oil and dwindling foreign reserves. These leaders see this situation as an opportunity to reform the economy.
The Cross River State government has slated April 2016 for the commissioning of the proposed garment factory. A Cross River State Governor, Bem Ayade, is confident the initiative will provide profitable employment for the state's unemployed youth.
It's one of the signature projects of the Ben Ayade administration. The proposed garment-making factory sits on 3 hectares of land along the Goodluck Jonathan bypass in Calabar, the Cross River State capital, south-south Nigeria. Here, a lot of work is going on to meet the April 1st target date for the factory to be commissioned. The goal of this project is to encourage entrepreneurial skills among the youth and discourage fabric importation.
The major challenge of this garment factory is almost been done. All the equipment are on ground, the steel work has been completed. Now we are doing the landscaping and the earthworks. As we close this activity, the expatriates are arriving to come and commence training. So by March, we should be fully ready against April the 1st.
Governor Ayade's counterpart from Abia State, Okize Ikpeazu, believes the project is laudable and asked the federal government to encourage more of it.
Cross River is the best brand in this country today. It's a brand through which we can market Nigeria. So if you ask the world the safest place where to be in Nigeria, I think it's better for them to see us from the prism of Cross River. And I want to urge the federal government and all of us sister states to put Cross River forward. I think that through Cross River we can all market our competencies in the various states.
It was a good time to address traders in the garment business who are full of hope that the factory will make their businesses more lucrative.
It will really help us. We who are travelers going to Lagos, going to Onitsha, going to Aba to buy these goods. If the goods are within our door, we will be very happy to just stroll in and get the goods to our shop without paying so much transport.
If the thing function, it will be good for us.
April 1st is the deadline for this project to be completed. The state government is positive that this project will cause the state to be further reckoned with as a business hub in the South-South and other geopolitical zones of the country.
Well, time now for business news on the news at 10 with Emana Amawe.
You first. First Bank. Hello there and welcome to Business News. The Asset Management Company of Nigeria has dissolved the board of aero contractors and appointed a manager to run the affairs of the airline. According to a statement signed by AMCON, it decided to make changes in the management of the airline to protect its brand heritage. The Asset Management Company also says it has engaged a reputable accounting firm to undertake a forensic audit of the airline's accounts over the last 5 years, while an industry-based management team will be put in place to ensure quick repositioning of the company. Aero Contractors is Nigeria's oldest aviation company, which commenced business in 1959, initially providing services to the oil and gas sector. AMCON is both the majority shareholder and creditor of Aero Contractors. And Nigeria's aviation sector can become very profitable if the government harmonizes the taxes paid by domestic and international airlines, as well as reduce the domestic destinations that international airlines are allowed to operate. The chief executive of Bicotany Aviation Services, Christoph Pennick, said this on Business Morning today, adding that there must be political will to fix the much-needed infrastructure and encourage more passengers to patronize domestic airlines.
The problem here in Nigeria is that we have domestic airlines that are paying a far less tax than international flights. For example, now they've allowed foreign airlines like Turkish Airlines to fly into Kano. Per passenger is $50 for Turkish Airlines, whereas Aero Azman is paying 1,000 naira. So you have a disparity in revenue. One international passenger pays $50 and a local passenger pays with the exchange rate $3. So you can see that it's more profitable to operate with international flights. But if you do so, people will not be flying in domestic airlines anymore. So what is the drive now? Are we looking at airports being super profitable to the detriment of the local airlines? Or should we now see, yes, you are allowed to fly into Lagos, Abuja, and Port Harcourt, and the rest should be you fly into those airports and then you fly your domestic airlines to the other airports. It's a political choice. If you want to develop your economy and you want to support your local airlines, you cannot allow international airlines to fly in every possible airport. Airlines will only thrive if they can get the market. In Africa, we don't have a strong, West Africa, we don't have a strong airline anymore. It becomes so ridiculous that I had to go to Tunis. The easiest way was for me to go to Paris. Fly from Lagos to Paris and Paris to Tunis. Soon, with all these entry points into Nigeria, we'll have to fly to Dubai to fly to Kano from Lagos.
In the meantime, the government can generate more revenue from airports if they take the option of privatizing existing facilities or clutter the airports to make them more economically viable. This is the view of an industry analyst, Tayo Ujuri, who believes the government needs to look at ancillary ways of raising revenue from the airports, besides landing and parking charges.
For the airport to be financially sustainable, they're supposed to be collaboratively decide with the stakeholders, i.e. the airlines, to actually sit down with them and say, this is what is coming down the line. How do we actually address this in pricing? Back to what you said, so that the passenger, we're able to draw more passengers. And as we draw more passengers, we open up other revenue sources, which we call ancillary and non-aeronautical revenues, that would actually help passengers spend. Obviously, you see airports being, even in Nigeria, where you have a spa, where you have a supermarket at the airport. You have other drivers that would actually give the airport money, that they're not relying only on the landing and parking charges.
Now, after 3 consecutive days of sustained profit booking on the local bourse, the Nigerian Stock Exchange ended the week on a negative note. Temple Ashaju has details.
Thank you for joining us on this last edition of Stock Market Report for this week. It's been a volatile session this week at the Nigerian equities markets. The all-share index slipped by 0.07%, closing at 23,501.87. The gains were led by Mobil, Seplat, and UACN. Mobil closed at 147 naira 63 kobo, while Seplat and UACN closed at 243 naira and 20 naira 89 kobo each. On the flip side, Forte Oil led on the decliners table with a 3.23% drop, closing at 300 naira per share. It came ahead of Better Glass and Total. Financial stocks topped the volume chart as seen in FBN Holdings and Zenith Bank shares. At the close of the session, a total of 554.6 million shares were traded at 4.3 billion naira in 2,304 deals. And that does the stock market report for today. I'm Temple Ashaju.
Most of the global equities remained depressed this week. Let's find out how they fared today. And that's where we wrap up Business News tonight. Thank you for watching. I'm Emana Amawe. The broadcast continues in a moment.
You first. First Bank.
And still ahead on the news at 10, Confederation of African Football endorses Sheikh Salman as preferred FIFA presidency candidate over South Africa's Tokyo Sex Wall. That's on Sports News. Join us again.